Hello, Wixman Ray, also known as Weatherman Ray. It's Sunday, April 5th. Happy Easter 2026. Um, if you have kids, hopefully they're enjoying the Easter Bunny and all the goodies. And if you don't have kids or whatever, happy Easter anyways. Okay, so yeah, welcome to another edition of our weather update that I do. I try to do daily, but sometimes it's not every day. So. All right, so we're looking at our RGB satellite since it's daytime. Current time is it's actually 10:27 Central Time, which is 8:27 on the West Coast, and 11:30 on the East Coast. So we'll just call it 11:30. All right. So out west, pretty quiet. This stuff out here, some high cloud, just some cirrus clouds. We call it cirrus. That's a meteorological term. You probably heard of it if you pay attention to weather anyways. And then a little bit down here, but no significant weather with that at the time. Um, you can see the green here. That's indicating where there's snow. There's some snow still up in the mountains across the Rockies and up into Colorado and even into Utah a little bit up on the higher mountain peaks. This is where we had that snowstorm this week. We had two of them, I believe, out in this area. So looks like they have some pretty good snow cover in parts of South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota. Um, you can see it a little bit up here. Sometimes in these areas it gets kind of uh, it's harder to see because of they got a lot of trees or whatnot up there. So sometimes densely forested areas that doesn't show up as bright as like out here on the plains and the Dakotas. So. All right. And then we got one major weather system right now affecting the area. Oh, yeah, there's a little clipper coming out of Canada here. Really nothing big with it. There might be a few snow showers coming down with this feature as it moves southeast over the next through today and tomorrow across this general area back here through the Great Lakes and the northern Midwest, Northern Plains area. So yeah, so we got a cold front kind of extending from New York down through Virginia, Pennsylvania, through the southeast down here near just looks like the front south of Atlanta now and down hugging the Gulf Coast and into South Texas. And we got some looks like some thunderstorm, showery looking clouds down here near the Gulf Coast and off in the Gulf, and probably some down here in South Texas too. There might be a little bit of thunderstorm activity across Georgia and northwest Florida. We'll take a look at our radar and our obs and to see what's going on though. Behind this, this is just what they call the wraparound stratocumulus clouds that happen quite a bit on these strong mid-latitude systems. You got the cold air coming over the relatively warmer land and creating the moisture on the backside. So, but not really a lot of weather associated. Mostly clouds. Sometimes you can get a little bit of precip out of this. So there might be some spotty showers or snow showers depending on the temperature. All right, that's it for our satellite. I was having issues with this site, so I don't know what's going on here. Let me try to refresh it. Yeah, I don't think it's my internet. I think there's something going on there with the Aviation Weather Center's website. So we're not going to be able to see that. I'll just show you what the model forecast is. They're usually pretty good anyways. So, all right. So we'll start out at the upper levels today. This is at our 500 millibar chart. You've seen it before if you followed this channel. Um, this is up around 18,000 feet above sea level. So these are kind of the drivers of the surface weather that you experience. So we've got a area. So we got a kind of a trough, general broad trough of low pressure across the northeastern part of the country into the northern plains with a couple of what we call short waves or shortwave troughs, meteorological term. There's one up in Canada here in Ontario and that clips down in through the Great Lakes, and then we got another little wave, short wave, moving out of Canada, and that's that one we saw. This one is supporting that front, um, that big long big system we saw. So, and you can see as you move farther south, there's not as much energy. When you see these like reds, this kind of just shows you there's a lot more energy in the atmosphere. But as you get south, there's some energy supporting that front and the showers and thunderstorms, but not quite as strong as where the low pressure is. So yeah, so that's what's going on in the upper levels. This is basically about right now. And then we've got a couple little waves, disturbances in the atmosphere, one over northern Mexico into the desert southwest, and then another one out over off the coast of California there. That'll bring a little bit of weather down to the southwest and I believe into Texas later this week. So anyway, so we'll kind of scroll through this and show you what's going on. And that's why it's cooler up in this general part of the country today, um, because of this dip in the jet stream. We got this trough of low pressure. And back here, you kind of got a ridge of high pressure as you move into the Great Basin and Northern Rockies with those little disturbances right underneath that ridge. So yeah, for the rest of the day, these things will truck along. That main system will start pushing out to sea as it goes into Monday morning. This little feature will just kind of scoot through the Great Lakes area. And then we got, high pressure ridge across the west. Still get a little energy down across this area. So, but I think the precipitation will mainly be moving east of Texas briefly before another wave. But here's this next wave coming into California on Monday and into the desert southwest. So that'll cause some showers and thunderstorms as we head into Monday out in this area. And another dip down here, and that'll cause some storminess, mainly over Florida, maybe near the Gulf Coast. There might be some showers or thunderstorms. And this little clipper will continue to keep it cool across the northeastern part of the country through Tuesday. As we head into Wednesday, so you kind of see this next system. So this system, this will start bringing, this is our next weather maker out in the plains. This will bring some precip across the northern Rockies, not so much south of, say, northern Utah, northern Nevada. All this area will be under this weak ridge, weak high pressure area. So this will be our next major weather maker that comes into the plains as we go into midweek Wednesday. This little piece of energy may bring some activity down here to Texas and Oklahoma. And what's going to happen is they'll kind of merge by late in the day on Wednesday into Thursday, and this will just become one big frontal system at the surface anyway. So yeah, so that's what's going on. We'll just go through midweek. And that'll cause the temperatures to moderate up across the north. The cooler air will be right with this little system up across the north. So even the northeast will warm up as you go into, midweek of next week. And I'll show you the temperatures here in a minute. Okay, so let's go to our surface depiction. This will show our this is called our mean sea level pressure chart. This shows us where our fronts, low pressures, high pressures, and all that kind of jazz will be. So let's start out here. Let's go to about right now. So this is close to now. So yeah, so you see this frontal system from all along the East Coast through the Southeast and down into South Texas here. High pressure behind it across the plains here. And here's that little clipper coming out of Canada with might bring just a little bit of light snow up here across northern Minnesota and the Great Lakes area today and tomorrow. So yeah, and showers and thunderstorms along here. There's a little bit of a threat of severe up in this mid-Atlantic area. I'll show you that here in a second. So as we go through later on today through tonight, that front starts pushing offshore. It'll still kind of be running across, from the coastal Carolinas through northwest Florida and down into the Gulf there. But even for Texas, it'll start drying out as we go into Monday. So, and this system will kind of move offshore, but it'll keep, Florida will still be unsettled. They're going to look at showers and thunderstorms for a good part of, at least the beginning part of the week. We still see that little narrow band, nothing too significant, some snow showers up across the Great Lakes in the Northeast as we go into Monday here. And then you can see this stuff here that's up here in. That's that wave that's coming across the southwest. So we'll see some showers and thunderstorms, maybe in a little mountain snow up into Colorado, at least southern Colorado. And then we're seeing the effects of this next system coming to the northwest here. It looks like it's going to be coming from the more of a northerly direction, so not as much precip for, say, Seattle and Portland, but up it comes into Montana and brings some snow and rain. And so this is Tuesday night into Wednesday. So most of the snow's up in Canada, but you might get some back into Montana, maybe a little bit in North Dakota. And then you kind of start seeing this moisture coming up off the Gulf, getting some showers and thunderstorms developing from Texas, Oklahoma, like we were talking about, into the northern plains here. So another round of thunderstorms through there and stormy weather. Too early to say if we'll have severe, but it's that time of year where we get a lot of severe thunderstorms, springtime. So we'll have this next system that'll be our major system by Tuesday and Wednesday into Thursday out in this part of the country after this one departs today. And then you can kind of see here back in Florida, like I was talking about. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, even near the Gulf Coast, they're going to be kind of wet, periods of rain, showers, and thunderstorms. So, kind of unsettled across that part of the country as we go into next week. So if you're going down to Florida, you'll probably be dodging the storms. So. All right. I was going to show you something here. Let's see if we got this. Okay. Yeah, so here's our threat for today. They got a marginal risk from, southern New Jersey through the DC area, Delmarva area, parts of Virginia into South Carolina, at least the northern part, and then parts of eastern North Carolina. So yeah, marginal threat. The main threat they're talking about is winds, damaging winds. So pretty low chance of hail and tornadoes from what they're talking about. So for those thunderstorms today, and then the rest of the week pretty quiet. They show some thunderstorms over Florida. You can't see it real well, but I'm just telling you. And then across the southwest and into Colorado a little bit, even parts of Utah, maybe southern part of Utah on Wednesday or Tuesday. Yeah. Okay, so that's it basically. In a nutshell, this thing probably hasn't updated. No, there's something with their website going on. So, anyways, yeah, that's what's going on with the weather. Oh yeah, I told you I was going to show you the temperatures. So we'll start with Monday. So this is our max temperatures. So the cold air is going to be up here across the northern plains from, roughly from parts of Montana, northern plains, up through the Great Lakes in the Northeast. So the highest for Monday will be in the 20s and 30s, farther north, and then 40s and 50s. Kansas City is about the dividing line where it gets warmer south of them, down in the 70s. Pretty nice across this area, other than that unsettled weather across Florida, but it's going to be temperature-wise pretty warm. So, and nice across the west. Look at that. For Monday, 70s, 80s, farther south, probably some 90s down there near Phoenix. We're going to Tuesday, so yeah, it's still kind of continued cold, like I said, across this general part of the country. Still pretty nice down here across the south, except for the rain down here near the Gulf Coast. But yeah, the west is real nice. You start seeing a little cool down up here in the northern part. and this goes into Wednesday. Yeah, that's, you see, that's that next system. It drops the temperatures a little bit. Nothing crazy cold, but I mean, we're already in first week of April. Still some chilly air back through the Northeast on Wednesday, but look at this whole area that was cooler has warmed up a good 20 degrees or so, 15, 20 degrees. So real nice for most areas except for up in the northern reaches. And then on Thursday, that's the last day I'll talk about. Yeah, see, it starts to moderate, and that'll be the trend up here through, I think, the end of the week through the Northeast. Pretty nice, southern half of the country. Back west, it starts to warm back up. Here's where that system is in the colder air. So winter is still trying to keep its grip up there, but we're getting closer and closer to, as we get towards late in April into May. Those days will be ending. We'll be into summer before you know it. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Um, tell everybody about us. Like and subscribe if you would like. And like I said, I love weather. This is my passion. Been doing it for 30 plus years. Um, as a meteorologist, so I'm a certain, I have a meteorologist degree. I worked in meteorology for 30 plus years. So that's me. And so, hey, appreciate y'all. Wixman Ray out.